You know that feeling when you're lying in bed at night and your mind is already somewhere in the future? Not thinking about what's happening right now, but about what might happen. What could go wrong? What if everything falls apart? Most people call this anxiety, and psychologists call it rumination. But the Japanese have a different word that makes the problem dissolve on its own. Mono no aware. The quiet beauty of passing things. Today, I'm going to show you a 5-minute practice that the Japanese have used for centuries to let go of anxiety about the future. Stay until the end. In the final minute, I'll share something that almost no video about anxiety ever shows you. Why anxiety about the future is an illusion. Here's a simple fact that's easy to understand and almost impossible to truly feel. The future doesn't exist. Right now, it isn't here. There is only this moment. And anxiety about the future is your brain spending real energy from the present on experiencing something that hasn't happened yet. A Harvard study found that people spend 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what's actually happening in front of them. Almost half their lives, inside their heads, not in reality. Think about what that means. You could be sitting in a warm room, healthy, safe, with food on the table, and your mind is already somewhere else, solving problems that don't exist yet, preparing for conversations that may never happen, bracing for outcomes that exist only as possibilities. Your nervous system responds to all of it as if it were real. Your heart rate shifts. Your breathing tightens. Your body prepares for a threat that exists nowhere except in your thoughts. The Japanese understood this through observing nature. Every spring, when the cherry blossoms bloom, people across Japan leave their homes and gather under the trees, not to celebrate, but simply to watch. That is what mono no aware means in practice. It's the feeling of being fully here precisely because you understand that here is temporary. That quiet understanding, this moment is the only thing that truly exists, is the foundation of everything that follows. The mistake that makes anxiety stronger. When we feel anxious, we all do the same thing. We try to stop the thoughts. Don't think about it. Distract yourself. Everything will be fine. But the harder you resist a thought, the stronger it becomes. Psychologists call this the ironic process theory, the paradox of suppression. Tell yourself right now, don't think about a green hippopotamus. What did you just think about? Mono no aware offers the opposite. Not stopping the thought, but looking at it the way the Japanese look at a falling leaf, with quiet acceptance, with the understanding that it too will pass. Anxiety builds like a wave, first growing stronger, then fading away. The only thing that stops it from disappearing is trying to fight it. And here's where it gets interesting, because before I show you the practice, there's one thing most people miss, and it's exactly why the practice doesn't work for them. The anxiety about the future doesn't get stronger when the future is uncertain. It gets stronger when you lose contact with the present. Think about that for a moment. When you're fully here, touching something, tasting something, truly looking at something in front of you, there is no room for the imagined threat, because the present is real. And in the real moment, most of what we fear simply doesn't exist. Research shows that people who practice mindfulness don't become less sensitive to problems. They simply stop suffering from problems that haven't happened yet. Mono no aware isn't a calming technique. It's a way to see reality more clearly. When you look at a falling leaf, you're not thinking about tomorrow, you're here. And in this here, there is no threat. There never was. Stay with me, because the practice I'm about to show you takes exactly 5 minutes. This practice is called the aware moment. Japanese people do it unconsciously every day. You can do it consciously, anywhere, anytime. Minute 1. Find one object. Stop. Find one object in front of you. A cup, a branch outside the window, a pattern on the table, anything. Look at it as if you're seeing it for the first time in your life. Notice its shape, its texture, the way light falls on it. You're not trying to relax, you're simply looking. Minutes 2 and 3. Recognize impermanence. Now think, this object will change. The cup will break someday. The branch will lose its leaves. You yourself will change. Not as a frightening thought, as a quiet fact. Everything around you right now is temporary. And that's not a reason for sadness. That's what makes this exact moment real and worth being in. Minutes 4 and 5. Turn that gaze toward your anxiety. Now look at your anxiety the same way, as an object. It too is impermanent. It too will pass. It too is just a moment. Don't fight it. Don't try to make it go away. Simply observe it, the way you observed the cup, the way the Japanese observe falling petals. Notice how it feels in your body, where it lives, how it moves, and watch it change. What changes after this practice? Most people expect the anxiety to disappear immediately. It doesn't always work that way. What changes is your relationship to it. You stop being inside the anxiety and start being someone who observes it. Because when you're inside the wave, it feels like drowning. When you're watching the wave, you understand. It will reach the shore. And it will pull back. It always does. The Japanese have known this for centuries. They built entire art forms around this understanding. Ikebana, the tea ceremony, the practice of watching cherry blossoms fall. To return to reality, to that very moment. Remember the word we started with? Mono no aware. Now you know what it means for you. Anxiety about the future is not your weakness. It's your brain stuck in something that doesn't exist yet. And the only way out isn't to fight. It's to return here. Try the practice today. Give it just 5 minutes. Choose one object and quietly observe it. And see what changes. If the Japanese way of seeing resonates with you, subscribe to Monolife. New videos about psychological well-being coming every week.